Hello, I'm Rob McKnight, and coming up on McKnight Tonight, foul language breaking the law, the shocking videos by New South Wales police officers you have to see to believe.
Fuck yeah, you dog.
It's a McKnight Tonight exclusive. Plus, Brisbane's Lord Mayor attacked for kicking homeless out of local parks, but there's a twist to this story that might change your opinion. And everything you need to know about the new streaming service Max. It's coming to Australia in April. All that, plus plenty of other hot topics, and make sure you stick around for our back-end quickies, where we end the week with a laugh.
McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight.
Wrong again.
McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight.
I've seen that since university.
Funny, insightful interviews. Put my watch to do some McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight. Here comes McKnight Tonight.
Hello, I'm Rob McKnight, and welcome to McKnight Tonight. Now, those police videos are really something you have to see, and I'll get to those in just a tick. And it's interesting, I've been in contact with the uploader today, so I've got his thoughts on why he's doing it. It's a fascinating one. First, remember we love your feedback here, so make sure you share your thoughts in the comment section of this video, and don't be afraid to share this post on your own socials. Help us spread the word. Let them know about McKnight Tonight. You're spending the night with McKnight, so let everyone know. Unless you're embarrassed. Are you embarrassed about spending the night with me? Wouldn't be the first. All right. If you like what you see, you can buy me a coffee by scanning the QR code on the screen, or simply by going to buymeacoffee.com/McKnight Tonight. Let's get into our hot topics.
Here comes McKnight Tonight.
And we begin tonight with an exclusive story where New South Wales Police appear to be breaking the law while making TikTok videos. These officers have also filmed themselves using very foul language, all while in uniform and with their name badges showing.
Dude, what are you doing, you f***head? You're doing what you doing, fuck off!
That video was uploaded yesterday and has already had over 300,000 views. Now, going by the name badges, the officer in that video is Andrew Bennett. As you'll see, Officer Bennett doesn't mind using foul language while in the uniform, whether in public or at what appears to be the police station.
Let's go to the candy shop. Yeah, fuck yeah, you dog. You're a little cupcake, you dog. You f***ing dog. Fuck yeah, you dog. You dog.
Hey, yummy. Keep some f***ing dog.
And there's more where that came from. Now, maybe you don't see these videos as a big deal, judging by what you've seen so far. But the social media policy for the employees of the New South Wales Police Force clearly states, when posting on social media sites in a private capacity, New South Wales Police Force employees must behave in a way that upholds the values and reputation of the New South Wales Police Force. The policy goes on to say, whether on or off duty, a police employee's conduct reflects on the New South Wales Police Force. All employees must protect the reputation of the New South Wales Police Force by behaving in a lawful and appropriate manner. But here's the kicker. Do not post pictures of New South Wales Police Force insignia, including the police uniform or ribbon. The use of New South Wales Police Force insignia, such as the uniform, checkered band or logo, without approval is prohibited under Section 203 of the Police Act 1990. Now that's interesting, because the officer who appears to be taking all of these videos is Sean Cole. And it would seem Officer Cole doesn't mind breaking the law to film his TikTok videos, as he can often be seen using his mobile phone while driving his car. Now, I counted at least 4 videos where the police car could be seen in motion while Cole appeared to be driving and using his mobile. There are more, but it wasn't clear if the car was moving at the time. But this isn't the first time Constable Sean Cole has made headlines. The Daily Telegraph reports that back in 2019, Cole was suspended after allegations he made several false complaints about colleagues in revenge for 20 of his workmates having fun watching CCTV footage of him having a row with his gay cop lover. The words of the report, not mine. When contacted by McKnight Tonight about the videos, New South Wales Police provided the following statement. Police are aware of social media posts involving 2 New South Wales police officers. The videos were filmed several years ago. One of the officers separated from the New South Wales Police Force in February 2021. The other officer is a current serving police officer. An investigation has been launched into the matter. Now, I can confirm it's Sean Cole who no longer works for New South Wales Police. And I reached out to the TikTok account that posted these videos to find out why they're being published now, as it seems they were recorded years ago. Now, the user, who I do believe to be Sean, tells me they are therapeutic and that I should stay tuned because he has 10 years worth of videos. We're still going back and forth on Messenger, so if there are any updates throughout McKnight Tonight, I will let you know. That should be interesting to see what other videos he posts, and they are posting and updating all the time. Now, I hear Officer Andrew Bennett is mortified the videos have come to light, but I have to say he does have to take responsibility for his actions. It's obvious from the videos Bennett and Cole were close, and I'd assume Bennett never expected the videos to see the light of day, but here they are. And the behaviour displayed in these videos is certainly not what we expect from police officers. Now, look, I get they need to let off steam. They deal with a lot of crap. So if you're going to take part in videos like this, you certainly need to be sure you can trust the person who could possibly post them. If Cole was still in the force, he would almost certainly be facing disciplinary action over the posts. The use of a mobile phone while driving is $410 in New South Wales and a penalty of 5 demerit points. Fortunately for Cole, he's beyond the 6-month statutory period, but it's not a good look. And what of Cole? It's interesting the back and forths I've had with him because it is obvious he's been through some crap during his time in the force. And he's obviously made some mistakes. That case that I mentioned before centered around video footage, CCTV footage being taken where he was apparently having an argument with his lover, and it was caught on tape and supposedly distributed around the police station. That article goes on to say he filed anonymous complaints, 3 complaints, and they were found to have no merit, and he was then charged under reciprocation laws. So there's a lot that's gone on here. But what these videos do show, rightly or wrongly about whether they've been posted, is the hypocrisy of the behaviour that does go on. Now, let's take Cole on the mobile phone shooting. You know, he's driving a vehicle while driving, and we see that. Amanda, can you show me that footage again if you can find it? Yeah, there it is. So that's at least 4 times, and there are more where he's in the car, but I wasn't sure if it was moving. But even if you're in a vehicle behind the car, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to be using and holding your phone. So that's an illegal activity that you and I would get fined for. And the swearing by Officer Bennett. Now, look, I know he was in a private moment with his mate, but some of it is on location. And there are more videos that do show these two had a very close relationship. So maybe he had an expectation the videos wouldn't be published, but it just goes to show you cannot trust anyone. There's no doubt in my mind, Cole, I think he, as he said, these videos are therapeutic for him. But it's not a good look for the police force, who can do nothing about them. He's a private citizen. He has every right. And for most of these videos, if they're just him miming to songs, and there's a lot of that, even though he's in his police form, it's fine. I think where he has crossed the line, and I'm happy to tell him this myself, is when he's posting other officers doing the wrong thing. Although, again, they have to be held accountable for their actions, but he's sort of thrown them under the bus. It might be worth re-looking at those videos and possibly taking them down. Okay, let me know what you think. Am I overreacting? Or do you think those videos should not see the light of day? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comment section of this video. We're going to go through them shortly on the show. So thank you for your feedback and thank you for watching. Now, you've probably seen that disturbing video of a woman snatching a baby wombat away from its mother for a photo opportunity. Her actions have certainly been condemned by the Prime Minister and everyone down. Now, in case you haven't seen the video, here it is as posted on the Daily Mail website.
Just caught a baby wombat. Look at the mother. It's like, oh, it's chasing after her.
I caught a baby wombat. Okay, Mama's right there, and she is pissed. Let's let him go.
No, he's right.
All right, let's let him go. Come here, Mama. Come here.
Yeah, well, when that video went viral, there were plenty of calls to deport Samantha Strabel, leading to headlines around the globe like that one. But one high-profile person has gone against the grain. Have a listen to what Kate Langbrook had to say on Thursday night's edition of The Project.
And let's cancel her visa.
Yeah, I think we'd like
Make
to
it a
deport.
teachable moment.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can do anything you want in this country. You can do a home invasion, not get deported. You fiddle with that.
I'll be back.
You know what I mean? It just seems excessive.
And I think...
Yeah, well, Sam Jones, as she's known, has left the country and posted an apology saying, guys, I'm really sorry about the Wombat incident. It was a mistake. I'm a professional and all the people hating, it's enough. I learned my lesson. But did she? Because she followed up. Here's the thing. She essentially made her Instagram account private, but on her TikTok video, she posted a fishing video aiming to show she's an animal lover and another one clapping back at those who called her unprofessional. Those videos have now disappeared. I didn't download them soon enough. I got distracted with the whole police video TikTok thing. Now, those videos on TikTok, as I said, they've all been deleted, but she did mention she's been getting death threats. And overnight, she posted a lengthy statement defending her actions and claiming she was concerned the baby wombat may have been sick or injured. I think that's a bit of rewriting history. Let's take a look at that video again.
Just caught a baby wombat. Look at the mother. It's like, oh, it's chasing after her.
I caught a baby wombat. Okay, Mama's right there, and she is pissed. Let's let him go.
No, he's right.
All right, let's let him go. Come here, Mama. Come here.
Just explain to me where in that video she's checking the baby wombat to see if it's sick. No, she's holding it. She's getting her jollies off holding it and not worrying about the mother being in distress of losing her baby. Nothing to do with it at all. And she has released another statement, as I mentioned, on Instagram. And that statement that I mentioned, she's essentially having a go at Australia because we do kill animals. We do cull animals that are pests and the like. And she basically seems to be taking issue. I apologise, but Australia's pretty screwed up and they do all these things to animals. Why am I being hated? Here's the fact. This lady is learning the harsh lessons of being a social media influencer. As much as they love you in the beginning, your name, your fame puts you under scrutiny. It's a scrutiny you haven't experienced before. Celebrities go through the same thing, and you will be held to account for your actions. I do not condone the death threats, but a public backlash can happen, and you have to cop it. You posted a video of you having the time of your life holding a wombat. Good on you. It may have gone down very differently, but the wrong people saw it, and it turned into a viral story. You didn't just go Insta famous, you went broadcast traditional TV famous. And that has a lot of influence with politicians. Now, I agree with Kate Langbrook. Don't think you need to get deported. And especially that point we make that you can do a home invasion and not get deported. I think we do have bigger issues. But you also have to face the backlash. You don't need death threats, but you do need to accept you've done the wrong thing. Don't try and justify it. Just accept it and go, you know what? I did the wrong thing, and that's that.
Here comes Wombat Tonight.
Okay, tell me what you think about that story and, of course, the police one by leaving your thoughts in the comments section. I will get to feedback very soon. Now, though, it's time for Rob's rant because I just don't think you get enough of my opinions, quite frankly. There are calls to increase fines for illegal dumping in Melbourne, with residents living along the housing growth corridor between Bacchus Marsh and Melbourne's Western Fringe saying illegal rubbish dumping has become a problem of epic proportions. With more than 2 million homes set to be built in Victoria, those residents fear their suburbs will be turned into tips. That's fine, but what causes illegal dumping? Well, usually it's because people don't have a place to take their rubbish, or we put these big prices on. Now, look, there is an $800 fine for dumping in Victoria. A lot of people, I would imagine, would think it's worth the risk. How many people are getting fined for illegal dumping? This is what we have to just understand when it comes to psychology. Make it easy for people, even if it's a free service. If you don't want to have to spend all this money going and finding these illegal tipsters and cleaning up after them, then you've got to give them somewhere to go. Here in the Gold Coast, where I live, where the McKnight Tonight Glorious Studios are, we have free tips. You can go to a tip and basically just take all your material there. It is fantastic. There is no illegal dumping here, or it's very minimal because people have a place to go for free. There has been chatter about a price being put on that, and there's a lot of pushback from the residents of the Gold Coast, and I'm certainly one of them. It's a great service that we pay for with our rates, and it keeps our streets clean. You can say, well, people shouldn't illegal dump, but the nature of people is they will do it if they don't have a place to go. It's really simple. Make it simple for people, and they hopefully will do the right thing. Okay, plenty of reaction to that New South Wales Police TikTok videos. They're those shocking ones. I'll get to your feedback in just a moment. But first, it's been another crazy week in politics, but now Donald Trump's America First plans are starting to impact Australia. Let's bring in Sam Clench from news.com.au to make sense of it all for us. Hello, Sam. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, my pleasure.
Mate, let's start with the tariffs imposed on Australia. Trump said he would consider excluding a 25% tariff on our aluminium. That hasn't happened, with the White House ultimately ruling out that exemption. Is this a big problem for Anthony Albanese ahead of a federal election?
I think the opposition will certainly try to make it a problem. I think Peter Dutton's contention is that the hostility from some figures in Labor to Donald Trump has undermined the government's ability to deal with him. And the argument from Dutton would be that he would do better at that. The reality is I'm not sure there was ever any real possibility of anyone getting exemptions from these tariffs, not just Australia, but around the world as well. There were similar tariffs brought in during Donald Trump's first term, which we did secure an exemption for. But I think he actually regretted that in the longer run because it meant that other countries could go to him as well and also request exemptions. And it ended up being in a situation where far too many, in his view, did get exemptions. So I think his view this time around is to avoid that, to just put blanket tariffs on everyone, no exemptions, same rule worldwide.
Let's have a look at Dutton talking about this issue because he really does seem to be saying he could get the phone call with Trump. Let's have a look at that.
Now, the Prime Minister hasn't even been able to mount that argument because the President won't even pick up the phone when Anthony Albanese calls. He can't even get a meeting, which is why the Prime Minister hasn't gone to the United States. The Prime Minister of Japan has gone to the United States, and our Quad partner, India, Prime Minister Modi has gone to the United States to meet with the President. We're the only Quad partner where the leader can't get a face-to-face meeting with the President. This is hopeless. And unfortunately, Australian jobs are at risk. And I just think the Prime Minister has let every Australian down. The coalition government was able to negotiate an exemption largely because we were able to prosecute our argument more effectively than what Anthony Albanese can.
Okay. Is Dutton playing a smart game here? He wants to look like a leader. Elections coming up. Or do you think playing politics on this issue could backfire for him?
No, I think there's certainly space for him to exploit there. And he's not without a fair point. The former coalition government did manage to negotiate that exemption. I'm not really sure you can blame it too much on Anthony Albanese this time around. I think it's more Donald Trump's outlook to the world in general. This
He didn't even know what AUKUS was. I mean, Trump really, we're not high on his list of thoughts, really.
Yeah,
and he didn't even invite Ukraine to the peace negotiations. I mean, the idea of picking up the phone call to Australians saying you're not getting your tariffs, I just don't see it.
Well, I think you landed on a couple of things there. One is that we need to be realistic about how much clout we have with the United States in general, but also specifically with Donald Trump. We're a middle power. You know, we're not Great Britain. We're not France. I don't think he's all that interested in us. Also, based on recent history from other world leaders, I'm not sure we want a meeting in the White House, to be fair. Who knows what sort of Trump might show up for that.
So how do you deal with Trump then? Because Albanese has called the tariffs not a friendly act. He's ruled out retaliating, but we've got Bill Shorten and others saying we need to retaliate like Canada and other countries have.
It's a tough one for Australia. It really is. I think Malcolm Turnbull has been saying this quite a lot in the last week. He likes to pop up and claim vindication when he can. That Donald Trump is, in his words, a bully, and that kowtowing to him doesn't actually have much effect. He only respects people who stand up to him. That's Turnbull's argument. I don't know how accurate that is.
Well, Turnbull has experience, doesn't he? Because there was that infamous phone call with Malcolm Turnbull and Trump where Trump wanted to stop asylum seekers from memory going to the US, and Turnbull said, mate, we've got a deal, and held him to it. And Trump wasn't happy with him. So Turnbull can obviously handle a figure like Trump. He knows how to do business.
Well, Malcolm would certainly agree with that assessment.
No, I'm sure he would.
He's been saying quite a lot on several TV and radio interviews in recent days. The thing you referred to there, the phone call, the infamous one, yes, you're correct. That was about a previous asylum seeker deal, a swap deal that had been negotiated with the Obama administration before Trump came in. Trump was not keen to go through with it, and Turnbull did manage to save the deal. So he certainly has an element of truth to what he's saying. That said, Donald Trump directly addressed Malcolm Turnbull in recent days, and his words were not very complimentary. So Turnbull's assertion that by standing up to Trump, he got Trump's respect, that might be pushing it a little, I think.
Yeah, he may have got what he wanted, but does Trump really respect people who beat him? I don't think so. Hey, look, while I've got you, because I love your insights, and especially on X, you're very vocal and you're a great follow on X, and of course what you do at news.com.au. But on the international front, do you think Ukraine and Russia can actually reach a peace deal? While it all sounds like we're heading in the right direction, I think once we get more detail, I have a feeling what Russia wants is not going to be palpable.
Yes, I think you should be approaching this with a lot of skepticism right now. We've heard a lot of talk about a potential peace deal negotiated by the US since Trump came back to power, but we've not heard any concessions from Russia in that time. The thing that sparked the big argument in the Oval Office between President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and President Zelensky was a particular sticking point in these negotiations. Well, two, really. One is that Ukraine does want to actually be included in them and to be in the room, for it not just to be the US and Russia.
Not completely unfair.
Not completely unfair, no. More importantly, though, security guarantees. That's the key point that Ukraine cannot accept a peace deal without. Because Vladimir Putin, he has this record of breaking agreements, of not sticking to his word. The Ukrainians need a guarantee that the West will step in and help again if Putin attacks again. And that's something that Donald Trump does not want to give, and it's something that Russia has completely ruled out. Unless you can bridge that gap and come up with some sort of acceptable security guarantee that Russia agrees to, this is a really messy situation. You're not going to get those two parties on the same page. So it's certainly possible that Donald Trump will successfully negotiate a peace deal, which I'm putting in quote marks there, with Putin, that Ukraine would not agree to.
Yeah.
And where do you go from there? It's also possible that Europe will negotiate peace terms that Ukraine can accept, but Russia won't. So I think Donald Trump is frankly being a little bit delusional in what he's saying on this issue. And I think he's really failing to grasp the key obstacle to peace.
I think you are 100% right. And as I said, your commentary, especially on X and what you do in your stories for news.com.au are must read. Sam Clench from news.com.au, thank you for joining us. I think we will have to talk again very soon because this moves day by day, let alone week by week.
Yeah, the news is not going to stop. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, mate.
It's the random life shot of the day. Where are you going today? You never know where you'll end up with the random life shot of the day.
Our random live shot of the day takes you to Madonna di Campiglio. Piazza Brenta is where mountain charm meets high energy slopes with views that hit different. The piazza offers a picturesque view of the stunning Brenta Dolomites as its backdrop. It's especially enchanting in winter, I'm told. Well, look at that. When it's decked out in festive lights and the atmosphere buzzes with skiers and tourists alike. Weather-wise, it's a high of just 1.8 degrees after a low of 0.3. Oh, I'd like to go there. Hey, to some feedback now on tonight's edition of McKnight Tonight. And I've got this one on TikTok from Genevieve regarding the police videos. She says the police are there to uphold the law. This is a bad look for the police force. And it is a bad look for the police force. Let's go and have a look at what else we've got. Jason says, still on the police, Sean Cole, behavioural standards or code of conduct has to be adhered to, but these videos reek of revenge porn. That's a really interesting way of putting it, Jason. I do have a concern about the way the videos have been uploaded without the permission of the officers. But I have had some more feedback from Sean, and I'll bring that to you in a moment. Justine says, what a crock of an excuse. This is on the Wombat Woman. There's no way that she was helping the Wombat. They are laughing in the video. They knew the mum was angry. She's an idiot looking for airtime. And over the page, we've got Jeanette saying, Wombat, I like how she posted after leaving the country. Yeah, very fair point. That's very interesting. Clint says, in relation to the Wombat incident, if the outcry was for her to be deported, what is the consequence for the guy filming the incident? He seemed to be enjoying what she was doing, even laughing about it, yet no backlash for him. A very good point. We have some very smart people on McKnight Tonight. Tip of the day, give us a free tip from Jimmy. Justine says on the tip issue as well, councils need to realise it's much cheaper to offer free tips than it is to clean up illegal dumping. Thank you, Justine. Appreciate that. Now, I have had some more interactions with Sean today, and he's given me an email address as well. So I'm very confident that it's him. And I asked him about Officer Bennett not knowing that these videos were being uploaded. And he said to me, and sorry, bear with me, there's been a lot going on. I did it out of good fun and humour. As you can see, we were having fun. No malicious intent. Speaking about Officer Bennett, he says, we haven't spoken in a while, never ended in bad terms, and goes on to say, it's my life, my story, it happened, and I make people smile. Bennett, in his own words, can deal with the consequences. So there you go. That's the feedback coming to McKnight Tonight, including from the person we featured tonight, Sean Cole. And keep your feedback coming in because I'll have more a little later in the show. Meanwhile, Brisbane's Lord Mayor is under fire over his plans to shut down homeless camps in public parks. The move by Adrian Schrinner has shocked many, as seen in this report by 7 News.
People will be given 24 hours notice.
The tents will be removed.
He says council tried to house the homeless in the lead up to last week's cyclone, but most refused.
There were hundreds and hundreds of rooms available in the lead up to Tropical Cyclone Alfred, and most of them stayed empty.
I went there for one night and it was just like being in a mental health institute.
Carl says he was treated like a criminal and prefers his tent.
It was better to take the risk of the cyclone than to, sit there and get mistreated.
Jesus, worse than being in a mental hospital. The fact that guy would rather face the cyclone than free housing, that is really worrying, despite Adrian Schrinner there seeming concerned that people weren't taking up the housing. Now, it would be great if only we could see these terrible places. Hang on. We can, because on Friday, 7 News took us inside.
They're modest but manageable. Rooms for Queenslanders in crisis at Rothwell. This one is giving a family a safe place to stay, but others sit empty as Tyler Crocker sets up camp in Musgrave Park.
Sometimes, some of the options that we've got are not even worth trying.
He says he feels safer here than in places he's been offered and won't be leaving.
I don't really do too well answering to anyone who thinks that they're bigger or more important.
As Brisbane City Council faces fury over its push to push out the homeless from local parks.
It feels like a joke, but it's not, and it's real and it's cruel.
For God's sake, it's not cruel. They're offering free housing, and those homes look pretty good. The guy in the previous story, what the hell is he on about? And what about, look, I know there are issues with the homeless, so I don't want to pick on the homeless, but there are two things that need to happen here. As people who pay their rates, we want safe places to go. There have been drugs, there have been violence, there has been fires in these tent areas. Would you feel safe at night walking through these areas that's meant to be a public park that's accessible? I wouldn't feel safe in daytime, let alone at night. Maybe that's horrible. Maybe that's elitist of me. I don't know. But the fact is, I would have no problem with them setting up camp if there were no alternatives. And I reckon you could see it in Adrian Schrinner. He was really annoyed that they've put all this money in and they're trying to help the homeless and they're thumbing their nose up at, well, I don't want to use it because I don't want people to think they're in control of me. Piss off. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to sound heartless with this. I get it. I know it. But do you know what? I don't care. There is a society we all have to live in. Now, some people can't or don't want to play by society rules. Well, you have to accept the consequences. It's not that last lady, I know she's a bleeding heart and I know she's got all the goodwill in the world, but for God's sake, we've got alternative places for them to go. This isn't the man being horrible to these people. The fact is there are two elements that have to work. There has to be a balance. Setting up a tent city in the middle of the city in a park area is not the place for it to be and not the place for it to happen. Alternative accommodation, I'd be happy in there. If Amanda kicks me out, I'll be going there. Don't you worry. Thank you, Adrian Schrinner. I'll see you. I'll go and have a holiday there. For God's sake, some people, it's never good enough. It's never good enough. It's good enough for me. Well, a new streaming service is about to hit Australia and it's set to have a major impact. To tell us everything we need to know, I spoke to my partner in crime at TV Black Box, Steve Malk, a little earlier. Steve, thanks for joining us.
G'day, Rob.
Mate, this new streaming service is called Max. Why is this one going to disrupt the Australian market?
Because it's named like a human, Rob. No, it's
like Stan.
yeah, that's right. It's just joining the queue. This is HBO's streaming service. Long kind of teased that it was coming to us, landing finally in Australia. So we will get it from the Monday, the 31st of March, available for people to sign up. And in and of itself, that's great because there's a whole bunch of not just HBO content, but Warner Brothers Discovery content. They own HBO. The real issue is that it's going to mean if you're a fan of great HBO series of the past, things like Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, that kind of thing, where currently you might be able to watch them on Foxtel and binge, not after the 31st of March, you can't.
So obviously what we're saying is Foxtel has been the home of HBO for quite some time. It's built its reputation on it. It's got the White Lotus at the moment. It should be having The Last of Us, did previously have. That'll go. So what does this mean for Foxtel? Because they lose their HBO content.
Yeah, so the library stuff, absolutely. So past shows, as I said, things like Game of Thrones and that sort of show, gone straight away. That will be only available in Australia. on streaming via HBO's Max. For series from Max or HBO that are currently running on Binge and Foxtel, they will finish their run. So things like The White Lotus will continue to play out, and then they'll have a 30-day shelf life on Binge and then be removed and become available in full over on Max. Now, the challenge for Binge, where, as you rightly pointed out, the first season of The Last of Us aired here in Australia on Binge and Foxtel, because its launch date for The Last of Us Season 2 is April, after Max has launched, as best we can tell, because this is a commercial in confidence kind of scenario, they've been a little bit cagey about details, The Last of Us will only air in Australia on HBO's Max.
I've already noticed that Real Time with Bill Maher has gone from the Foxtel platform. Will Binge see out the year?
Look, it's an interesting time for Binge, given that not only has this contract that Foxtel have long covered and held on to, that's really helped them establish and build Binge, has ended, but also Foxtel got sold at the end of last year, and the new owners come in. Look, as best we can understand, somewhere mid-year they'll take control of the Foxtel empire, including Binge and KO. Now, DAZN, who the European...
DAZN, Mog. It's actually DAZN because you're in DAZN. When you have a company name that needs to be explained, you've got major problems. But go on.
It probably works better in an English accent, Rob. DAZN, when they land, they have a history of being sports streaming company.
Yeah.
So things like KO and all of the AFL and NRL and cricket contracts that Foxtel have had previously will be core business for them here in Australia. Stuff like the entertainment streaming and lifestyle stuff, not so much. I think they would be looking to try and continue Binge where they can. The challenge is with such a large amount of library and new, like premium drama content leaving the platform, it would be interesting to see if Binge indeed survives the end of the year. I'd expect that DAZN might consider it's the end of its life come 31st December 2025.
Now, explain to me, with the launch of HBO Max, you will get access to it if you are a Foxtel subscriber, won't you?
Yeah, there has been a deal cut between Foxtel and HBO. That means that if you are a satellite or IQ particularly subscriber, so if you've got an IQ 4 or 5 at home plugged into your television, whether it's using the internet or the satellite, you will be given free HBO Max. I should just call it Max. I keep saying HBO at the front. You'll be given a Max account to be able to watch all of that content for free. We don't know how long that will last. I'd expect probably 3, 6, maybe 12 months.
Yeah.
However, it's the basic Max plan, which is going to be one like a single screen with ads. Not outrageous, but you get it for free. If you're a Binge subscriber, there is no such opportunity.
Right.
So
that was my next question.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely a situation where Foxtel have said, here's our core business as it stands, because Foxtel and Binge, while they are related, they kind of function as separate businesses.
Yeah.
Foxtel have been able to negotiate this for their IQ subscribers, home subscribers, but not for Binge. And to be fair, you pay a premium to have an in-home IQ service and to have it, connect to Max from that IQ, not outrageously hard either, because Binge is a streaming service a la carte that you can connect to and disconnect to and, subscribe, not subscribe. I would expect that trailing from the 31st of March, there will be a fair amount of people that decide to unsubscribe at least for a month, possibly more, from Binge and pick up a Max subscription in its place.
Yeah, we haven't got to that point where they're flooding the market with advertisements. I haven't really seen anything outside of trade talking about it. It is going to be disrupted, though, and it really just, to me, means Foxtel will become sport. And so if you're not a sport fan, I don't know what future you have with Foxtel, really.
Well, it also opens up the question that all of the streaming services, particularly the Australian-based ones like Stan and the broadcast networks have been sort of champing at, what about quotas? What about these overseas companies making Australian content? Now, Max is coming in with no Australian content at this point, or certainly no Australian-made and created content, whereas Binge has a fair chunk of it. Stan has heaps of it. Like there's those kinds of places have been really leaning into commissioning and developing their Australian library. In fact, we've got the new Nicole Kidman executive-produced series, The Last Anniversary, about to drop on Binge, which looks to be a great drama and an Aussie story filmed around the Hawkesbury, sort of just north of Sydney. So it's going to be an incredible tale, not on Max, only on Binge. So there'll be, I guess, a tail of, as in an end, a running end of that kind of content coming to Binge and Foxtel that isn't going to be on Max. And there's going to be a lot of attention paid once Max does launch as to what their first Australian commission could or might be.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. It's going to be very interesting. Mog, I owe everyone a case of beer because I didn't turn my phone on mute.
All three of us then.
Yeah, that's right. Apologies for that. Steve Mogg from TV Black Box, my partner there. Thank you for joining us on McKnight Tonight.
Thanks, Rob.
We have some back-end quickies before we go, but if that means grab a wine, because we sit back, relax, and lube up with alcoholic beverage in our throat to have a back-end quickie. Take a sip. All right. Before we go tonight, as I said, we can fit in a back-end quickie. Just give me 1 second because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The auto cue isn't scrolling, so I'm just trying to find... There it is. Oh, live streaming. What can you do? Okay. Is that a turtle in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? That's the question TSA officers were asking after they caught a man smuggling a live turtle in his pants at New Jersey airport. The turtle was upset, saying he would rather be in the guy's pants than have to visit New Jersey. Ba-dum-tum. You know what? I've got to get one of those little chilling-ding. I'll get that for next week. All right. Now to a warning for all parents. Be careful when trying to lay down the law to your kids because they might just call the law. One 4-year-old called the cops after finding out his mum ate his ice cream.
Hi.
Oh, it's the police. They came for real.
Yeah, we have to just come check, make sure everything's okay.
Hey, stop. What you do?
Did you call the police?
Yeah.
Why?
I told my mommy to go to bed.
She hate you, or is it because you didn't get ice cream yet?
I didn't get ice cream.
So is that why you're upset?
Yeah, that's why I didn't get no ice cream.
Geez, the amount of treats I steal from my kids, I am going to be in a lot of trouble. I think I can hear the sirens now. And that brings us to the end of this edition of McKnight Tonight. Thanks for your company, for all the people who tuned in and gave feedback. We really do appreciate it. And Jason, you definitely win Feedbacker of the Night because your feedback has not stopped. And we do appreciate it, sir, and we do read it all. Hey, there will be clips posted on your socials. Help us out by sharing those with your friends and family. Just annoy them. Why not? Do what I do to my family. But that is the end of McKnight Tonight. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next Saturday right here for McKnight Tonight.
McKnight Tonight. McKnight Tonight. It's good night from McKnight.